Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to make a quick video talking about the Horseshoe Denture. Pretty much just explaining what it is, the pros and cons, and how to do it. A Horseshoe Denture is when you cut out the palate part of the upper denture so that your entire palate is exposed. Some people have a full horseshoe denture where their palate is fully exposed. Some people just have like a half horseshoe, and some people just have a little bit taken off the back, so it's just a little bit of a horseshoe. The horseshoe is done when somebody has a severe gag reflex and they can't get over the feeling of their palate being covered. Some people just need a little bit taken off the back. Others need the entire thing taken off in order to get over that gag reflex. It is storming here in Pennsylvania. But like I was saying, so mainly the purpose of this is when you have a really bad gag reflex and you just can't get over your palate being covered. Me personally, my gag reflex it's not really so much on my palate, but it's more on my tongue. So I noticed from the beginning when I was trying to get used to my denture, when I would be fine just sitting there doing nothing, but when I would go to speak and the second my tongue would hit that plastic, I would gag from like the middle of my tongue to the back. So I had to have my entire palate cut away. And I didn't have it all cut off at once. I first worked with my dentist, and I let her know, I was having some issues with gagging. I couldn't really get over it. So I kept going back, and she would just do a little bit at a time. I would try to keep adjusting. I'd keep going back. And then, I don't know, I kind of just like took matters into my own hands. It was my immediate denture, so I didn't have a warranty. I was going to be getting a new denture eventually anyways, so I ended up ordering a Dremel, and I just continued to keep shaving more and more off myself instead of just continuously going back until it was eventually a full horseshoe. I probably would have been fine at keeping like some of the palate on so that I still had like some palate on there in some section, but I kind of went a little overboard, and I ended up doing the whole thing. So the pros are obviously it stops or reduces gagging. It feels more comfortable. The palate is exposed. Some people report that they can taste better with the palate exposed. I didn't really notice a difference. Those are really the pros. The cons are you lose all suction when you get a full horseshoe. If you keep half of the palate on, you may still have some suction. I know I still had a little bit, but you really do lose a lot of suction when you do this. And you'll always have to rely on adhesives or reline products or both. You may feel some movement occasionally, which could also contribute to the gag reflex if you have a sensitive palate. You lose stability, and by that I mean you don't have the palate there anymore, so it's not as strong as it would be, so it's more flexible and bendable, which could lead to it breaking. And the other con is when you do this, or when you have your dentist do this, you do risk, if you have a warranty, voiding that, because dentists will warn you that, you'll lose the stability, it could break, and it's kind of on you. So you do risk voiding your warranty. Those are pretty much the cons. The other thing with the horseshoe is a lot of dentists don't like doing it because of the cons that I listed out. They see it as a risk and a problem, and it's really on the patient, but I think that they avoid doing it because you know, they don't want that conflict in the future. Maybe maybe like they'll think that you'll come back and complain about it and want it fixed, and it's not really something that you can fix. I believe you could put the palate back on, but it's very, very expensive, or you just end up needing a whole new denture made. So that is the reason why a lot of dentists don't like doing it. And you can't have a horseshoe denture made right from the bat either, because dentists do want to see you try a full denture and try to get used to that suction. I believe the only two companies that do horseshoes where they can make them like that are Russell Klein and Joe's Denture Lab. Those are the only two I know of that will do that. I got my Dremel off of Amazon to do this, and I can leave that linked below. I'll just go ahead and show you what my horseshoe looks like. So this is my upper horseshoe. You can see there is no palate. It is all gone. It looks like a lower denture, but this is my upper denture. And what I use to keep this in is I just use Reline It, and I do my own relines, and then I'll add cushion grip as needed to keep it really snug. And then I mean, I can, at that point I can pretty much keep it in with my muscles. I can eat without adhesive if I want to, because I've trained those muscles to keep my denture in. But if I'm gonna wear this all day long, I do like to use a little bit of Polygrip powder, just for extra support and to keep it like really secure in there. And really, I think 99% of people with horseshoe dentures do have to use adhesive, so that is one thing to keep in mind. And the only other advice I would give with this is definitely don't just go and take the entire palate off, because you don't know how you will feel. Definitely just go nice and slow, just start shaving some off the back, test it out, see how it feels. You may only need a little bit taken off, you may not need the entire thing. If it still doesn't feel right, just keep going and just do a little bit at a time. Keep testing it out until it feels right. Keep trying to adjust to it before you just go and take away that whole palate, because once it's gone, it's gone. There's no putting it back. Well, there is, but it's very expensive, or you will need a new denture made. But yeah, so that is the horseshoe denture. If anybody has any questions, leave them down below.